Hello everyone, Cameron here with a review of Jobs, the new Steve Jobs biopic starring Ashton Kutcher. So when I found out that Ashton Kutcher was playing the role of Steve Jobs, this was my reaction. Ashton Kutcher! Ashton Kutcher! Are you kidding? Was he good in this movie? I'll get to that in a bit. So what do I think of Jobs overall? Jobs is a pretty good movie. A mostly mediocre film, unfortunately, with some great moments, but as a overall film, it feels like a very standard kind of TV movie-esque film. What did I think of Ashton Kutcher as Steve Jobs? He was great. He was actually fantastic. I couldn't believe how good Ashton Kutcher was in this movie. Everything he does in this movie is pretty much flawless. The nuances, his expression, the walk, the weird Steve Jobs walk, the frumpy Steve Jobs, he gets that down perfectly. He's intense, he totally goes for broke, and he just kills it. Let's talk about the directing by Joshua Michael Stern. He does a pretty good job. There are some nice shots, there's a couple interesting pans, the way shots are positioned. For the most part, his camera work is a little uneven. The way the film is edited is really strange and jumpy. The pacing, Stern is in charge of the pace in this film, and he really is not confident because sometimes the movie will be going and it's entertaining, it's going well, and then it'll just slow down to a grinding halt. I think I checked my watch probably like 4 times in this movie. This is a slow film, and slow films can be entertaining. This is a really interesting story, so it's not hard to make the story of Steve Jobs interesting, so the fact that there's lots of parts in the film that are not, that's not good. But I think the biggest problem with this film is the script. You have an amazing, iconic figure here, and we don't really get to know him that well. In this movie, we learn that he was an asshole, and that's basically it. Dialogue is very standard, and it feels kind of like a TV movie. There are some nice emotional moments, but there's nothing creative. Steve Jobs is such an interesting human being. This is basically Apple the movie. You can have the cool Apple stuff, but I feel like we should have focused more on Jobs' psyche. There are huge time gaps. Interesting things happen in those time gaps. Why are we not seeing that? The movie ends 10 years before he died. Why would you do that? That is so interesting. I feel like this was like a greatest hits record of Jobs' life, kind of skimming over things, and the movie feels rushed even though it is very slow. Music in this movie was so annoying. It was so bad. They're trying to make us cry. This British kid is working for Apple. A few years after Steve Jobs leaves, he's like, I am trying to, the vision that you had of creativity and wonderful thing. It's so stupid. It's like da 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 da. The score brought down the film. So overall, I thought Jobs was okay. It has some nice moments and some great performances. It is very one-dimensional, kind of stale effort from a director and a writer who are way out of their league. I'm gonna give Jobs a C+. I know that seems a little high for what I said. I'm giving it the plus because the acting is really, really great, and there are certain scenes in the film that give us glimpses of a great movie that I know exists in there somewhere. Really hope Ashton Kutcher gets an Oscar nomination. There's no way he will, but I mean, God, if he did, that'd make me so happy. So, what do you guys think of Jobs? If you've seen it, comment below, email me. I'm Cameron, and I will see you next time.